Good afternoon. My name is Abby Mulry, and I'm a senior Park Scholar applying for the 2025 Leader of the Pack. I'm majoring in biological sciences with a concentration in human biology and international studies with a concentration in Latin American studies, and I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina. The first question I'm going to answer is, how do you define responsible citizenship? Talk to us about how you've developed or evolved as a responsible citizen in the community. First and foremost, I believe responsible citizenship is the feasible commitment a person has to collaborate with the communities that they are surrounded by and who they wish to learn from. I believe it's a commitment to listen first and serve second. By that, I mean that we have a responsibility to listen to the ways in which a community wants to be served before serving them. We don't want to inflict our own cultural ideas onto or the beliefs that we grew up with onto a community that did not grow up under those same beliefs. Um, I feel that I've evolved as a responsible citizen by figuring out what my passions are with learning and exploration at NC State. Specifically, I co-led 2 ASB trips last year to Washington, D.C. and Rome, Italy to study cycles of poverty and food insecurity, respectively. And those trips have had a huge impact on me as I've learned that health and hunger is interconnected with pretty much every other social issue that exists, including education, resource accessibility, and even systemic racism and discrimination in the United States. And so from that, I try to take a lot of the lessons I've learned about health and food security to the job I volunteer at now as a clinic scribe in the Raleigh area. I work at Urban Ministries as a bilingual scribe, meaning that I attend a lot of appointments with patients and providers and keep record of their healthcare needs, concerns, and treatments, as well as often act as an interpreter within those appointments between patient and provider, as over 62% of patients who attend our free clinic speak Spanish as a first language. And it's really amazing to witness, to become a safe space for a lot of people who have often been very neglected by our social systems or oppressed by our medical system in the United States, finally find a place where they are accepted, and to be able to be part of that safe space for them has really inspired me to work with similar North Carolina communities in the future as a medical provider myself, hopefully. For the second question of what does a strong community look like to you and what role have you played to create a strong community at NC State? This kind of builds off of my last question, where I really believe that language itself serves as a bridge between people and between cultures. I studied abroad in Costa Rica for a semester of my college career, and while I was there, I learned a lot about the erasure of indigenous communities across Central and South America. Even in my bilingual Spanish immersion elementary school, we learned that civilizations like the Inca and the Maya just didn't exist anymore, and that couldn't be further from the truth. And so from that, I ended up going on grant-funded treks to Guatemala and Peru, as well as the Pacific Northwest, to learn about several indigenous populations across the Americas. And with the amount of understanding that I gained about their cultures and their religions and their languages, as well as their architecture, I asked myself, how could I bring this back to other students at NC State? So this led me to kind of bring this theory of creating a trip for students to learn many of the same things that I did, to the Park and Goodnight Committee, which I am on, to try to join the Park and Goodnight programs together, mesh a lot of their programming. And all of the students on the board loved it. With a lot of workshopping, we've eventually landed on this ASB alternative service break trip that's going to Chile over this winter break that I'm so excited about. We are working with a local organization within a community in the Araucania region of Chile, where primarily Mapuche indigenous people live. And we will be working with them during their harvest season. So they only allow volunteers during a short, like 3 months of their year when they need support with their agricultural season. And so this was an amazing way to blend a lot of my interests and passions that I think are so interconnected within our society to students back at NC State. So we'll be studying the food systems within this Mapuche community and also learning from the Mapuche community themselves about their history and culture, and as one of the unconquered groups in the America, how their culture has persisted over time. So we'll be taking 25 students, despite a lot of kind of concerns with the ASB program and financial constraints. I pushed for adding 10 students to our group so we can continue to facilitate wonderful ASB experiences across our student body, and continue to create these connections across different communities. Like we have Goodnight, Park, Caldwell, honor students, as well as students from the larger general body, and hopefully we'll be able to connect within areas of cultural exploration and character building and service learning on this upcoming trip. So hopefully that will add to my legacy at NC State. But to move into the next question, which is what will my legacy be? I hope that my legacy is most importantly one of integrity and compassion. I think that I'm not afraid to do difficult things. I mean, I changed my major like my 6th semester at NC State from engineering into biology, but it's turned into one of the best things I've done. I've met so many amazing supportive people that can boost me toward an eventual career in medicine. And on top of that, I have been inspired to work more with food insecurity within my local communities. I very much believe in the active citizenship continuum, and I wanted to become active at NC State. And so I decided to revive something that didn't work out for long term in the past. It's called the Food Recovery Network, and it existed in the past to help both reduce waste and food insecurity on campus. But noting that post-COVID, we have over a 30% food insecurity rate on campus, it was like, we have to bring this back and we have to target our own students. And all of this has led to this Food Recovery Network restarting again this year. We've already accumulated over 70 volunteers. We've accumulated well over 5,000 pounds of food, almost 4,300 meals for our NC State community and the Raleigh community in the past 8 weeks. We are partnered with Feed the Pack as well as many organizations across the community, and we do all sorts of recovery efforts like dining hall recoveries each week. We do recoveries after football games. We do recoveries for other dining events, and we're even trying to move into the catering space to ensure that no catered food on campus goes to waste. We have a lot of endorsement and sponsorship from Rave Catering. So I'm really excited to continue building out that initiative with my amazing team of over 7 executive members, as well as the over 70 volunteers that I mentioned. So for the last question of what does Leader of the Pack mean to you, and why do you think you should be selected as the 2025 Leader of the Pack? Honestly, I don't see Leader of the Pack as a finish line. I see it as an opportunity to bring awareness to the things that I care about and will continue to work toward throughout my educational career. It's personally been a privilege to be trusted with the growth of NC State and the communities I've been a part of while I've been a student here. And I hope that a lot of these relationships that I've built and things that I've worked on continue on behind me. But I know that my personal relationships will continue long past my time at NC State. My favorite note personally is from a younger student that I talked to about travel one time, and he said, it's on my wall. The note says, "I had goosebumps from the excitement you inspired in me." And now that same kid is coming on the ASB Chile trip that I'm co-leading with some amazing co-leads this winter. So I'm just grateful for my experience at NC State, and I am grateful for all of the people that have made all of these opportunities that I've been involved in possible. So thank you for your time, and go Pack.